Welcome back. We're here this morning with Joe Szynkowski to talk about informational interviews. How you doing this morning?
Good. How's it going?
I am great. All right. So to be honest, I don't think I'm familiar with this.
Okay.
So what exactly is an informational interview?
Yeah, it's kind of the new trend in networking. We're starting to see a lot of job candidates get a little bit more proactive. So instead of waiting for interviews from HR managers or headhunters, they're actually scheduling interviews themselves.
Oh, wow.
They're going after professionals who are maybe in a target role or industry that they'd like to get to. And it's all about knowledge gathering so they can kind of position themselves and really start to accelerate their job search instead of kind of waiting around.
That's interesting. So it's kind of like, you know, before you officially go for a job, you're kind of looking at what that company has and the people that are there, and then talking to the people at the company about the job that they do?
Sure, it can be company specific. It could be someone who has a role or a title that you're really interested in and you're trying to get to that point.
Yeah.
So it can be company specific or more industry and role specific too.
That's super neat. And so how effective are informational interviews in helping people find jobs or really advance their careers?
Yeah, we know networking is huge. 80% of jobs are gained through networking, or you know a guy who knows a guy kind of thing.
Right.
And that's not really going to change. So the more you can position yourself in front of more people who are in those positions of influence, the better. And then there's also this whole hidden job market right now. Companies are getting more tight with their hiring budgets and their onboarding budgets. So they are using friends and family models kind of within their company. So if you can get on the radar of some of these people at these companies you'd like to work with, it's going to benefit you for when they actually do kind of try to land these new jobs.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of, you know, overall just like networking. You're really just trying to get to know the other person and figure out what they're doing. And so, you know, when you are taking part in an informational interview, what are the questions that we should be asking?
Yeah, it kind of depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to someone about a specific role, you know, that you want to try to get to, day in the life questions are great.
Yeah.
What are you doing on a day-to-day basis? What are the challenges you're facing? Don't just get the good, but get the ugly also, so you can kind of really understand what that role looks like. If you're targeting a company and you want to learn more about what the culture is, what is leadership like to work with? Is it flexible? Is my day going to be just run by nonstop meetings? You kind of want to get a sense of what the lay of the land is. So it kind of depends, like I said, if you're talking about specific roles or companies, that'll kind of dictate what questions you should ask.
Yeah, of course. And so what are the benefits of conducting informational interviews for professionals at different stages of their careers?
Sure. So emerging professionals, it's all about understanding what the market looks like and what the industry looks like, because you're probably just coming out of college or you're entry level. Mid-level, I think it's all about building that network. You know, you want to get to that next level of director or VP. Who can you get in your network who can help you get there? Executives that I'm working with right now are making career shifts. You know, they're changing industries. You want to go from industrial to healthcare, but you've never done healthcare. You want to talk to some executives who are in that space, and that'll unlock more opportunities for you.
Right. I just really love this idea of informational interviews, and I feel like more people need to hear about it and more people need to take part in it because it can only, you know, grow their career and what they're looking to do. And, you know, speaking of interviews, you guys have your Work Happy Happy Hour events that you guys do monthly. There's a special one this month, and you guys are celebrating your 100th episode of the Small Town Big Business podcast with a live recording. What's that podcast all about? I don't think we've talked about that.
Yeah, so it's actually a podcast that's run by Ethos at the Citadel, so their team. They focus on bringing in people who have really crushed it, you know, from a business perspective. And they've done it kind of in the comfort of the small town environment. So great podcast, been going on for like 3 years.
Wow.
So this is the 100th episode. We're going to do a live recording where I'm going to flip the script and interview the hosts. So it's going to be interesting. Still free food, still free beer, all that good stuff, live music. But it's going to be this really cool live recording next week actually at Celebrations Event Center in Marion.
That is super awesome. I feel like that's super cool. And your last event that you had last month, that was a huge success, great turnout. And it sounds like these events are really just getting better and more people are showing up, which is so awesome for you all.
It's been great. We think people are ready to kind of get back out there. These are great chances to do some informational interviews. You know, you can kind of talk to people you haven't met before, but understand their roles and what they're doing. So yeah, it's been a hit for sure.
That's awesome. And so that's taking place next Wednesday?
Wednesday the 21st, 5 to 7 o'clock at Celebrations in Marion.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hopefully you learned a little bit about informational interviews. I know that I did, which is so perfect. So stick with us. We'll be back in just a bit.